Hi folks, welcome back. Going to be doing some different things today. Got some stuff I need to tell you and some stuff I want to show you. Now, I haven't been making any videos for the last couple of weeks because I got sick and had an infection in my throat. Finally got some antibiotics and that cleared it up. But I lost my voice for over a week. Hope you enjoyed it while you could. It's hard to make videos when you can't talk unless you want to invent silent videos. That ain't my bag. Today I'm going to tell you a few things, and we're going to do a little bit of flaking on this test piece here. First thing is this tool right here. Now this tool is made by Spec Tools. It was about $35 and I got it on Amazon. And I wanted a decent quality one of these, and this one turned out to be just what the doctor ordered. Now, can you see it over here? Let me get closer. Now this tool is made by Spec Tools. It's kind of unique. I'd never seen one. I never even knew they existed. I was trying to get a bolt loose and one of the viewers said, "Hey, you need one of these." Well, this one's kind of a multi-purpose. If you notice, now I've got some 90-degree angle tools, but nothing like this. This is a slightly different angle. If you notice here, 45 would be up here. What's this, 12, 15, maybe 20? But 1/4-inch bits. This one I put a nut driver in. In the handle down here, you twist it and pull it out, and it's got other screwdriver bits that come with it. This little back plate has got a knurl on it, and it's got a little tab right there, and you insert this into the handle back there, and you just turn it maybe an eighth of a turn, but on the back it's got the nice little rotating feature, so when you're using it you can put your hand on here and turn it without unscrewing the cap. I like that. Like I say, I put this one on here. Another feature of this one by Spec Tools is you can pull the handle off, just standard pull it and pull it apart. It leaves you with a hex. I can stick this in an impact gun or a drill and then motorize this sucker where it goes in. This little lever here is something to hold it, and you can take this one screw here loose and rotate it around 360 degrees. 35 bucks. It looks well made. I'm happy as all get out with it. And thanks. I'm sorry I don't remember who told me about it, but it's a good deal, and I thought we should pass it on to the rest of the people. Spec Tools, Amazon, 35 bucks. Now today I'm going to be working on the Bridgeport column. I'm going to flake it so that I can get it painted, stood back up, get the knee on it, and get it out of my way. I need to move it out of the way because my mill, or my planer here, needs to have all its oil changed. All 65 gallons of it have been contaminated with water because I got a roof leak and it started leaking into the dadgum return oil gallery. Hate roof leaks. Anyway, before we get to that, I've got something that I finally figured out what I think YouTube is doing to notifications and getting rid of subscribers. Now the subscriber deletions I can understand because there's such a thing as buying subscribers. I could go buy a whole bunch of subscribers for my channel. They'd be fake ones, and I think YouTube is going through trying to eliminate that problem and getting rid of it. But sometimes they get a little bit overzealous and take good subscribers and throw them off too. But the thing I've noticed is I don't get notifications for a lot of people that I've watched for years. And I figured out what's going on. Now, when I make this video, there's thousands of other people around the world making a video too. And we're all competing for a little bitty piece of time on YouTube. It's tough getting started and getting up there to where YouTube recommends you all the time. And heck, I've been doing it for quite a while and I still don't get that automatic recommendations. What they've done, I've noticed, is we'll take for example Curtis down at CC Engineering down in Australia. Now he's a good guy. I like his dog. He does some nice machine work on heavy stuff. But sometimes I don't have time to watch Curtis's every video. And the same way with you guys. Well, I noticed that for about 3 weeks, I didn't watch one of Curtis's videos because I had too much going on. Then, I didn't get any more notices from Curtis's channel. I still don't today. The reason being, I didn't click on those notices when YouTube sent them to me. So YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, says, he must not be interested anymore. We're going to stop showing him that, and we're going to show him other things in an effort to get him to watch more videos and maybe click on an ad or two so we can make money. They got to make money. They got to pay for it. So I think that's what YouTube does. I can see who watches my channel, subscribers versus people that they recommend to. And right now, about 80% of the views I get are from YouTube recommendations. Only about 20% are from people who have been here before or subscribers. So every video, most of the views are coming from new people. And I noticed that I only get 2 days of recommendations from YouTube. First day goes up 2,000 or 3,000 views. Next day a little bit less, and then it almost drops off to nothing. And it's usually a few subscribers that catch up and watch, but mostly it's very few people. It just goes flat. And so to get back up, I got to make another video and go up there and then come back down. Now, big channels like Sesame Street channel, they have so many viewers that they get in the rotation more because they have so many viewers. And it kind of surprised me that I wasn't seeing anything from Curtis. Now, like I say, Curtis is a good guy. He seems to have an extreme dislike for my measurement system. He calls them bananas. But other than that, he's okay, like his dog too. So that's what I think is going on. If you don't watch, or at least click on and watch one of the notified videos, pretty soon YouTube's not going to send it to you because they're going to send you something else in the hopes that you will watch it. That's my theory. So far, I've been testing it and proved out that that's just about what's happening. People that I don't at least click on a video every 2 or 3 times it's shown doesn't show up very much anymore, if at all. I haven't seen one from Curtis for 3 months. So even though I'm still subscribed and even though it says all notifications, YouTube doesn't send it to me because I didn't watch 2 or 3 of them. So let me know what you think. Anyway, on with the work. This is a cast iron rail that I made with the help of Clark at Windy Hill Foundry, which should be up here somewhere. We cast these, they're a little bit over 52 inches long, and I've designed them to be rails to bolt onto the side of my 10EE to form a carriage so that I can grind off the 7 thousandths of an inch wear and make it perfect again without tearing the whole machine down. I'm getting to it, guys. There's only me. I'm going as fast as I can. Anyway, I need to get that mill back up because I need my manual mill back. I've got the old M8 Bridgeport CNC mill, but that's a lot easier to do, little small one-off jobs you're running to do. I need it back, and it's in the way of the oil change. So today, I'm going to flake that. And I've been practicing trying to get the same pattern that is on there now from Bridgeport factory. I've got 2 sets of flaker blades for my biax flaker, which is this motorized machine that makes a pattern for oil pockets. This is another set with the carbide tips. I've gone through just about every combination I can get to make that pattern. I haven't exactly mastered that pattern, but it's been so long that I don't think I'll ever master that pattern in this lifetime. I just don't think the tool I have. They may have done it with a hand flaker, and I'm just not up to that right now. So I have picked a pattern that I like. I'm going to practice on this 52-inch piece of cast iron. I planed it off flat in preparation for machining it for the lathe project. And it's a perfect surface to practice what I've got to do over there. So I'm going to run through this. I'm going to practice and show you the little tips I've been coming across as I'm practicing. And we're going to then flake that. Because frankly, ain't nobody in the world ever going to see the pattern on that column. It gets covered up by accordion ways to keep the chips away from it, and the knee takes up 3/4 of the column at any time. So I just ain't going to be perfect. I'm sorry, but I'm giving it too much of my time. Maybe in the next lifetime. Let's get going. Now, like I say, this is my rail. I took and planed it, then I practiced on it, then I was going to shovel that off with the planer again, and it's when I discovered the contaminated oil. So I got out my biax scraper, put a large radius blade on it, about a 3/4 inch stroke. Now this machine goes this way. This blade goes in and out, in and out, in and out. You can adjust the stroke and I can adjust the speed. Well, I shoveled off the top of this just so I could get some more practice area. Didn't take but maybe 3 minutes to do the whole thing. Now I'll use the flaker, which has a motion that goes like this on the blade. The blade sticks out. It doesn't go back and forth. It rocks side to side. So I need some pattern aiming marks. One of the things that I found that as I was practicing a lot, I was doing it in a hurry, and I got bad habits. I'll tell you right now, don't do it the way I do it. There's people that teach this. I had 7 classes here from Richard King over the years. Just, there are people a hell of a lot better than this than I am. So don't take what I say as the gospel. In other words, don't try this at home. One of the things I noticed was I need to change the way I'm holding this on the pattern. I was going to do a 45 degree this way and then a 45 degree this way. Well, with the pattern that I've decided on, it's too wide and just doesn't need a crosshatch like that. So what I'm going to do is go one direction, and it is wide enough that it'll overlap, and I think it'll look good. We're going to try it and see. Anyway, by doing it this way, I find that I go up at the end of the stroke a lot, and it just is hard to control. I'm right-handed, and it's just difficult to do this. So if I switch to this direction, you see how that's more even? Just kind of like on a hinge. So I'm going to go in this direction and not this direction and fight it. Now I could, if I needed to, just switch to the other side and then get that same angle. But I don't think I'm going to need to, because it's going to be such a wide angle pattern here. So let's put some aiming marks on this thing. In my practice, I have figured out that I need a mark that is about 5/8 of an inch in spacing. And so I'm going to use my pink rule. The only reason I'm doing that is Don won't steal it because it's pink. Now you can do it like this. You can put a mark at every 5/8. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Or you can get out your trusty Carpenter Speed Square. You guys remember when these came about? 70s? This was the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, I love these. Now you can buy them made out of plastic. I think the patents ran out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down and I'm going to strike a mark. Then I dug through my bits and everything, and I found a high-speed tool bit, Vasco Supreme here, and it is about 5/8 of an inch thick. And so what I'm going to do is set that there, put this here, and just use this as a template every time. And just go to town, and that way you don't have to use a pink ruler. Now I'm going to do a little bit of this at this marking, and then we're going to try and see what it looks like. See if I need to adjust the spacing of this. Then I need to, if this works what I want, I need to transfer the marks over to the column. When I get to the column, I've got a problem in that this square won't work to make the 45. It's got this T on the bottom that's really great for grabbing a hold of an edge. Well, over there, it's this wide and it goes under a dovetail, so this won't work. So basically what I've got is just an old drafting angle. So over there is what we use this for. Okay. Second thing I found is when I'm doing this, to make it uniform, I need to be going in the same plane every time. I need to be in the same position on this blade. So what I'm going to do, see, I'm going to take the blade, I'm going to measure it using the proper scale, and that is right at 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to make me a target mark at 3/8 of an inch. And so then I can line my target up on this. That's a little bit off. Let's move it over some more. All right. So now I got a target mark. On my blade, I can do this. And the reason I did that is if you are off a little bit from the side and you have a little tilt on this, it makes a totally different flaking pattern. If you go to the other way, it does the same exact thing. So what I'm trying to do is keep this as flat as possible, follow my mark as I go down, and we'll see what happens. This is the way you hold one of these. And what I want to do, I don't want to swing my arms. I want to kind of hold this against there, and I want to swing my legs. I think my legs make it a little bit more steady on the pattern. And I got to get it at the right angle to follow that angle. All right. Now, I let my bad habits get a hold of me, but I'm trying to do this as a little pattern so you guys can see what happens. Now, here, I went too slow in my travel. Here, I did the same flow. I'm following the line pretty good. Here, same thing, too slow. So now I've changed what I was doing, and I tried to make it the same all the way across, and I failed miserably. Shoop, shoop. And I also was kicking this way. I wasn't following my line very good. Too small, but it's getting better. See how it's kind of going across that whole space evenly? So that's an even one. And now over here, I was trying to do it a little bit better at the same speed and widen it out. Now all I got to do is practice. You got to start and finish at the same speed. Now some of you may be asking why I'm even flaking this. Well, flaking serves two purposes. One, it provides places for oil to get onto this surface. If this was perfectly flat and smooth, like say a straight edge surface, or that surface of that way over there before it's been flaked, it only has little bitty tiny points. And 40 points per inch, 10 points per inch. If you put 40 points per inch on there, they're usually a lot smaller than 10 points per inch would be, and thus they would wear out sooner. So stuff like this, 20 points per inch is pretty good. But by putting the flaking on, we also reduce the surface contact between the two surfaces, provide a place for oil in these little pockets to get into, lubricate the whole surface, and prevent stick slip. Now, if these two surfaces were perfectly flat, say like on a pair of gauges, blocks that you ring together, those are perfectly flat. You ring them together and they stick to each other. Well, that's what happens when you get a lot of weight on a way, pressing together, and there's nothing in there. It sticks. And so your machine is pushing against it, and then it breaks the stick and it slips. So stick slip. So that's what I'm trying to alleviate with these little flaking marks. They're only like 4/10 of an inch deep. And those look pitiful. I gotta practice. Let me get after it. Need to set me up some more marks here. I'm just going all the way down here and starting. There we go. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. 30 lines really quick. All right, y'all don't watch. Need to be up at an angle where it digs into the metal. You're too shallow, it skids right over it. Okay, let's look at it. Now this is trying to use all the things that I've learned about the rhythm and everything, and going down my lines, aiming for my lines, using my body. It'll show up for you. Now that covers a lot of the surface. Maybe it'd be better this way. Now that, to me, is perfectly acceptable. I improved my pattern by using my body, like this. The one thing you gotta remember though is you gotta step. So, you know, it's like dancing. You gotta move over a little bit. Otherwise, you're trying to move your body too much. You can do your hips a little bit, but that changes the angle a little bit too. But I am perfectly happy with that. Let's go do the column. Well, I'm over here at the victim. I measured this all out, and it's well within specs. These are a set of precision rounds that I put in between this dovetail, and then you measure across them, and that tells you what the measurements are and how well it's aligned. And it's in really good shape. So, if you notice, I've got a 1/2 inch marking on this and crosshatched. If I do that, that's just way too much. So I'm going to get rid of those markings and proceed to put the same marks I put on that test piece over there. Then I want to get all. The reason I'm going this route is these are chromed ways. That's hard chrome right there, which is a good thing. That really lessens the wear on these ways. And you can see down through here all the way the flaking on it still. So I know it's in pretty good shape. And I don't want to take all the chrome off and redo it all, so it's as good as it's going to get. I'm going to take this. I'm going to go this way again, remember. And then I'm going to pull this column out and come back down the other side. Only problem I have is it's going to be hard to use my legs when my legs are sitting here. And putting this off for so long, I wanted to make it look just like it did before. Frankly, I've given it my best shot all the time I can. I need this machine back. So, what it is what it is. Which will be fine. 90% of this is going to be covered up with the knee, and the rest of it up here on the top is going to get a pair of folding bellows to keep the chips away from it. If I keep this oiled and cleaned up and do chips off of it with that chip bellows, this thing should last, the way I'm going to use it, probably 200 years. You know, it really surprises me what videos get watched and what videos just continually getting watched. You know, once that 2 days goes by, or a week or 2 weeks on each new video, the oldies start taking over again. Like today, 180 people watched how to plane a Bridgeport table. I kind of like YouTube for that fact, because you know, you're sitting there, you guys get a sort of library to learn about things. My gosh. When I bought my new motor coach, I bought it used because frankly I couldn't afford $500,000 for a motor coach. And the broker that I bought it from calls me up the morning I'm supposed to go pick it up. He says, we have a problem. The refrigerator is not working. Well, it worked the day I inspected it, but they moved it around to a different area to get it in make ready. Man, when I showed up, I looked at their electrical hookups for this line of motorhomes, and that's why the refrigerator didn't work. They had the biggest thing. It would send power surges. It was pitiful. Well, the motorhome has a regular house refrigerator in it, which is really nice, except the door to get into the motorhome is only about 30 inches wide, and that refrigerator isn't going to fit up them stairs. So what you have to do is take the $6,000 windshield out, put the old refrigerator through the windshield, put in the new one, and then hopefully put the new windshield back in, or the old windshield, or new one if you broke it. But I went to YouTube and I looked up that model refrigerator real quick, and I found its common problems, and I said, you know, that's not a deal breaker. I could be technically looking at about $10,000 repair there. I said, have the man give me $400 off, and we'll go from there. I looked up on YouTube and figured out it was probably the motherboard, which was a common outage. Purchased a new motherboard for $250, pulled it out, put it in. Bob's your uncle. In the amount of time it took for me to give you that story, we got all the marks done. Now, I'm going to have to kind of worry worry about my marks here, I'm going to have to switch to using my arm. But once again, it's better than me trying to do it this way, because it's going to be really wobbly. I got a lot more control doing it this way. And maybe I can put my arm on here and just push and use this arm as a pivot for it. That ought to work. My blade's nice and sharp. Got a 5-degree negative bevel on it, or angle on it. I've waited long enough. It's dark. I'm wearing sunglasses. Let's get it going. I'm not wearing sunglasses. Maybe that's why I think it's dark. All right, let's do it down here where nobody will ever see it. Feels pretty good. That's hard to get into that angle there. Got it out pretty good. This will be okay. But that chrome is a heck of a lot harder than that cast iron was over there. So I'm having to push a lot more down for it. Need more angle. How's that look to you, sports fans? It got better as it went up. Don't look at this part. Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Just putting my leg around that was pretty tough. Need a few more in this area. Feel it, you can feel the little tips on it. I'll take and stone that a little bit. I'm gonna put a few more in here. I like it. I've been worrying over this for months. Well, I tried lifting it up by my hand sticking under there, and that didn't work worth a flip. So I'm gonna see if I can get it up high, put a roller dolly on this end. My homemade jib crane works pretty good for this kind of stuff. I put an ad, or I'm not putting an ad, I put a link up to showing how we made Don's. Kind of unique. Uses a trailer ball in the bottom of a 4-inch pipe and a little socket I made for the ball to fit in, and it rotates on that ball. Let's see how you will move. You know, when you have a big lathe, you have big pieces of material usually, and you got to be able to move it around and pick things up. Now, people like Brian Block, you know, they've got an overhead gantry crane that runs the whole length of his shop, and he can go everywhere he wants to unless he makes it fall down. Anyway, I don't have the headroom for an overhead gantry crane in this room, so it's only got a 14-foot wall on the side. So I make do with these and tables. See if we can scoot this around. You didn't even follow me. What are you guys? Come on, pay attention. So now I've got it set around. Wondering if I could make it go more, because I would love to be able to make the pattern go this way. This here is not so bad. It's down here. This one's, man, close and easy. I got it all laid out. I'm going to take a minute to sit here and see if I can do it better. I can do almost all of it down to here with this hand, and I might have to switch over to this one. What have I got to lose? Just a nice late model Bridgeport with chrome ways. Shush. I found on the other side, because this is harder material, that I had to tilt the blade. Instead of trying to keep it parallel to this surface, I had to tilt it to get it to follow that line right. So I suspect I'm going to have to do that too. I just have to. Man, it'd be better if I did it this way, but then it won't match at the top. Let me try and see what I can do. It's not as good as the other side, but it'll do. Down here is a little harder to get into. Real hard. Now remember, when you're stoning this, you can wipe off all of your work real quick. I'm just taking off all the little points. Don is going to be so happy. He's been bugging me for months.
Go do the Bridgeport. Go do the Bridgeport.
I don't feel anything dragging on it as I go over it with a rag. There's no more little tips left. I'm ready to stand this dude up. Now the next part is getting it on a set of these dollies. Don and I found these dollies at Tractor Supply. They're rated 1,080 pounds, and they got a full board here instead of like a furniture dolly. And we've been using them to rebuild parts and have them roll around on them. Works pretty good. So I'm going to put 2 of them under here. Don't need the drop cloth anymore. All right. Tom's going to be so proud of me. Well, that's where I'm going to end this video. Remember, if you don't click on the notifications when they show them to you, pretty soon they're going to go away. So if you don't watch, just at least click on it so it starts. That way you can beat YouTube at their own game. Thanks for watching. Turn on the air conditioner now.